the only Leeds Bros show.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the match reaction. Leeds United 1, West Brom 1. Jam, we'll dive straight into it. Come over to you. Point gained or 2 points dropped?
Point gained, I think, the way the game went. Definitely, I think the first half we started really well. We started with the intensity that we've been used to for the last 2 weeks. I felt like then basically we let him back into the game. He dropped off a little bit, and I think Matt came up with a great point in the halftime show where they just looked like they outnumbered us in midfield, and I just thought we need to get a grip of that game in the midfield. Second half then was a bit better. To be honest, lads, it was a bit flat today. Just the performance itself, and I try not to be too deflated about it. I mean, we've been spoilt rotten the last few weeks, and I'm trying to be positive about it as well in a way, but just felt like there was we were just a bit off it today. I think Matteo could have scored near the end, and I think Dan James maybe could have done better with his shot as well. It could be a different story then, but got to give credit to West Brom as well. I thought they threw their bodies on the line as well. There was a couple of is it Malumbi? I thought he put some big blocks in. Kyle Bartley as well. He seems to always lift his game against Leeds. Kyle Bartley, I don't know, but. Listen, it is deflating, but the positives I'm taking out of it is, the last 13 points out of 15 games, 15 points, sorry. 13 points out of 15 points. And we played against, so we got Sunderland, Sheffield United, West Brom, Coventry, Watford. Those are tough games, lads. Coventry are flying as well at the moment. So, listen, we can all be disappointed with the result, and it's not what we wanted in the end, but there's still 11 games left to go, plenty of twists and turns. So, listen, bit deflated, but we go again, don't we?
Yeah, 100% great summary, mate. Love that, yeah, like that. We go again. And I think, again, it's one of them, like, you don't have it all your own way all the time, do you? And it is going to be one of them. I like that. Look, it's not a loss, and it probably is going to be a decent point by the end of this. If QPR can kind of do us a favour down there, if they can kind of pick up a point or maybe get all three, because football, it's a mad old game, isn't it? So I think it'll be a decent point. We'll look back on this as a decent point if QPR can get something down there. I don't think it'll be the worst result then in the morning. Then it's kind of as you are. But Dylan, we'll come over to you because you're kind of the other side of the fence. You probably feel like it's 2 points dropped today.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Like, it's still a good point to have. I'm trying to be positive as I am, but in the back of my head I'm kind of saying maybe did we just slip up with the Sheffield United and Sunderland game, because the way that we played and big games that they were, we really shined through and got the points done. And then now just today, maybe the lads are just tired, but it just feels like Sheffield United win today now. It just puts that cap to 3, with the 5-point gap we were all kind of buzzing, and there was a bit of more of a belief. I still believe we're going to go first and we're going to smash everyone up. But still, I just feel like maybe today we could have been that little bit better. I do have certain stats here, and one of them for me anyway is block shots. You have to give West Brom credit where it's due. 7 shots blocked, from us. 2 of them were on targets and 6 off target. That was just, it was 7 blocked. So
they threw their bodies in the line out today, lads, didn't they? They really, really did. They wanted a bit more. But going back to what Jam said as well, we did have opportunity there towards the end with Matteo Joseph, when the one that goes off the bar, and you kind of feel like, is that the chance? And then we get one more with Dan James as well, and probably 9 times out of 10, lads, at the minute, the form that Dan James is in, we see him smashing the back of the net with one of them, and you kind of just get that feeling then that it was kind of looking like a point then, wasn't it? But you go back to West Brom as well, they had a decent opportunity, Jam, didn't they, in the first half with Swift, the one just by the post. He doesn't catch it cleanly. If he does, and 1-1 down, I think we're in a little bit of trouble. And it's something, Jam, I want to get your thoughts on as well, because it's something me and Dylan have spoke about as well, is the first half performances lately from Leeds. Look, it's obviously been unbelievable the last 2 Mondays against Sunderland and Sheffield United. It's what you're a football fan for. But do we have to look into a little bit more that the first half performance is just not quite there yet? We just don't seem to be starting games.
Yeah, I think over the last few weeks I've banged on about how good the fitness of the squad is. Well, it's all well and good saying that, but then you need to start from the off, from first minute to the 90. You need to keep that intensity going. And I think if we'd have played, because the second half was much, much better, I thought, in regards to the intensity and passing the ball. If we need to start that at the game, because we're going to come up against teams who are going to start brighter and sharper than us, and we might be 1 or 2 down. And we were lucky. We're lucky today not to be 1-0 or 2-0 down. So I'm not going to. I think it was just, to be honest, I think it was just one of those days today, boys. I mean, I think we could have had all these chances, and we could have, but I just don't. I think we still would be playing now and not score again. To be honest, honestly, I think it's just. Again, I do get it though. I'm bang on. I'm with you, boys. You've got to be starting games quicker. Sheffield United first half was poor. Sunderland first half was poor. Today again, it wasn't really. We weren't really at the races. But flip side, positive. We're still getting results. 7 points out of 3 games there. I've just named. We got 7 points out of 9. So, listen, I'm as disappointed as anyone. You know, I'm a bit deflated by it. But again, you've just got to really look at the positives. We're in a great position. You know. I understand. I do understand. I get it. I get the frustrations. I'm frustrated as well. But just think, it's a point gained. Personally, again, I've gone off the topic of the question.
No, I love it. No, I love it.
You know where I'm like, I do go off on
no,
one.
I love picking our brain on it. It's great.
I'm just trying to keep level headed with it all because there's still 11 games left. There's plenty of twists and turns.
There is, yeah. I think for me, Jam, you hit the nail on the head. I think it's just because that belief that we had against Sunderland, and then. Well done, lads. You put in a good shift there. Everyone played well. Now let's go do it against Sheffield United, and we've done it. I think that was it. We were kind of saying we're home and hold now at the minute. Leeds are really starting to put some serious numbers on the board. Collectively, even the group itself and on the bench and stuff like that. And then, just it was everything kind of lined up for. Probably sounds a bit tight to Leeds half that we were going to win, considering. It was Ellen Road, the only thing, it was a half 12 kickoff, that clearly was, Ellen Road was a bit flat at times. So I think I think I'll take it. We've no choice anyway, do we? It's done now, but I think we'll take it. I think that's where it's at.
What Sean says here as well, lads, still unbeaten. Sheffield United will drop points today, and I think even at that we will still have a healthy gap, and that's it, lads. We could, for the time half 5 rolled around, we could be turning around and saying, well, look, it's a point on the board and we're 6 cleared, and then you're kind of giving yourself a 2-game kind of advantage ahead of them, and then a brilliant goal difference as well that we have there as well. So
I could be singing a song.
As much as we're deflated now, we could be very, very happy before 5 o'clock, or you could be looking back and going, shit, we slipped up today, and it is 2 points, and that's the way football is, lads. But I do have to go back to what Jam said as well. I don't want to be too downbeat today because they've given us some brilliant times over the last 2 weeks. Like, let's be honest, lads, that live long in the memories from this season. Them 2 games back to back, absolutely brilliant. And it's not a loss. It feels like a loss every time Leeds draw a game. It always feels like a loss for some reason, but it's not. So it is it's a point on the board. What Jam turns around and says, exactly. 13 out of a possible 15. Like, it's not bad at all. Look, we're not ultra positive, but I don't think there's any need to be ultra kind of negative today on it as well. As much as you can feel a little bit kind of meh, you never know. But by 5 o'clock, we could be all happy enough with the point, and we take it and move on, because that's football. You can't win every game. Go ahead, though.
I just think West Brom, you have to give them flowers as well. Like they did, they were sloppy. Their passing was very sloppy, and then you could say, us to a certain degree, we didn't take advantage of that at times, especially in the first half. But the goal that we scored, that's phenomenal, world class. Let's be honest, it's beautiful from Dan James putting the cross in. Your man Jam, the Welsh man, and then Firpo obviously then just to get us out of it, and that's back-to-back goals from a left back that's highly involved in the attack every single time, collectively. But look, you have to give West Brom their flowers as well. To be fair, and to be honest, I can't really. The few players you could say that they had an off game, but majority of the lads were on it.
Yeah.
One specifically was Joe Rodan.
Easy says here, can't complain about the last 3 results. Fark needs to use his squad because this was the one, and Solomon, James and Aronson need to come out with a team for a few games at least. And the only one I probably disagree with there, lads, and we'll get your thoughts on Easy's comment as well, is probably Dan James, lads. I just don't think Dan James should be out of the squad at the minute. I think he's exceptional. You see the threat that he gives down that left-hand side, his work rate. For me today, he was the one that was on it all day to them. Probably man of the match is Joe Rodan, because that tackle in the last few minutes was absolutely brilliant, and we'll get to that as well. But probably not Dan James easy, but I do probably think today should have been the day maybe just to rotate it a little bit. Jam, would you think?
I think, I'll be honest, lads, might come across harsh here, but Aronson, where was he?
That's 2 games, and Sheffield United, he was anonymous as well, wasn't he?
I know his pressing. Listen, his pressing his running stats are great, and his pressing is impressive as well. But
Yeah.
he's just going missing for me. He's going for missing for me. I don't know. Perhaps it's just me being biased. Perhaps it's just me. I don't know. But I don't see enough of him. He's not doing enough.
It's more quality wise. It's on the ball, isn't it, Jam? So like, we're not questioning his work rate and his pressing. Unbelievable, next to none. For me, probably the best in the division. Unbelievable at times. But you need to have the other side at times as well, don't you? Especially as a number 10 for Leeds United. And he just hasn't really kind of got that the last couple of games. And I don't blame him solely. And I do have to go back to what we said months ago, Jam, and if you were listeners at the time as well, is that this is why we were saying to rotate Aronson a little bit more, or even take him off 10-15 minutes on end games, that it is kind of home and hose, just to give him that little bit of a rest, because it seems like he's just been flogged, and it is going to catch up on him eventually, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. The amount of minutes he's played as well, and he doesn't really rest. He doesn't take him off really. That really does he? I mean, he likes to keep him on. I do get it. He's like a Duracell bunny, but I did like the way that Pirro dropped back into the 10 and then Joseph went up front. That was a nice little tactical thing there. But I thought he looked actually much better and a lot more dangerous. The thing is with Joel is he's got that killer pass as well. He can pick a pass. Yeah. I did see the sort of why he did that. Yeah. But it's just more. I think it's just more. Perhaps I'm being too critical of Aronson, but I just think he needs just a bit. He needs to be re-energized. I think. Someone at Easy's comment there, I mean, Ramazani and Nonto, I think, can we utilise them a bit more? Can we put Nonto in a 10? And, just little things like that. It's not me saying to do it, but it's things to think of, isn't it? There's options on the bench that we can perhaps, use
them a bit more. Yeah, what Richard says here, sloppy is the best description of that performance today. And it probably is, lads, isn't it? It's probably, Richard's probably hit the nail on the head there, isn't it? Kind of sums the whole thing up. So that's it from only Leeds Bros. But it is, like, it was one of them days. And you kind of, we'll go back and we'll speak about the West Brom goal, lads. I think Strike there doesn't really need to make that foul there, does he? It's a bit kind of silly from him at this stage in his career. Like, he is an experienced centre half. He's played a lot of games. He is the captain now, but he comes out and just a little bit too much on Armstrong. I don't think we've any quarrels that it isn't a free kick. He goes through him, but then the ball's into the back post, lads, and Bogut's left way. I think it was Hegum and Furlong who obviously got the goal. He's left in the middle of them as a sandwich loop and header. Melier's, for me, is a little bit off position as well. So again, it's kind of a collective kind of mistake from the whole team again today. But it felt like a little bit sloppy then, didn't it? It felt like a little bit schoolboy defending. Something we're not really used to seeing Leeds doing in kind of that department, isn't it? We've know Melier's mistakes, that's another thing. But we're not really used to kind of conceding goals like that kind of sloppiness, are we, this season?
No, it's the thing. I think the thing is with West Brom as well, they got some units, haven't they? They got Bartley, they've got that Hegum is a bit of a... And Furlong's good in here. He has proven that he scored the goal. I mean, I think he nearly had one in the second half, didn't he, Furlong? Or he went over the bar in the end, but looked quite threatening. But, a bit sloppy. It's hard to put your sort of finger on what went wrong today in the first half. But I do think a bit of consistency crept in, to be honest with you, as well. I think maybe we thought, we've beaten the toughest teams in this division, and I think maybe... But you've got to give credit to, like, West Brom, literally, you've got to give them credit. They're fifth in the league for a reason. They know themselves. So perhaps we did get a bit overconfident. But that defending on that goal, I think the commentator said Farkas livid, and I don't blame him. I'd be livid with that defending.
You would be, 100%. Dilla, what about you for the goal? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I just think, regardless with me being a Leeds fan anyway, I'm going to be giving it a Melier won because he's made so many mistakes, and then obviously the collective, but it was all over, whose man wasn't marked. Let's be honest, that's where it came from. You go back to obviously the foul that Stroke made. Cynically, I think we done it early on in the season, but not him. There was another game where we gave away a cynical free kick and it cost us. I think we lost that game. Can't remember who it was against, but just you don't stand your man up. You don't need to be pushing them or giving it away. It's just pure silliness. But then, look, it goes ahead, and I just think Melier's position, and I was going to keep calling it out, wasn't great. It kind of seemed for a second he was going to come for it, and then, not necessarily that he was in no man's land, but
kind of hesitant was then, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then, whoever's man it was, I still have to watch it back. I haven't watched it back yet to see who exactly it was that should have been
marked. Rodon, lads. I think Rodon might have got caught, but again, I have to say what Dylan says. I'll have to watch it back. Andy says here, tad disappointing, but you can't win them all, and that's it. let's hope it's only a blip and not capitulation. Yeah, let's hope not like an epic scale like last season. And that's it, lads. We still look, we've only lost 3 games this season as well. Like, it's not bad. And what I say, boy, wrote on near the end, arguably it was brilliant, lads, wasn't it? Like, let's talk about it, Jam, your fellow countryman as well. Brilliant pace to get back, and he threw his body on the line. It felt like at the last second he didn't really have anything left to give, so he just threw his body for a bit of hope and hoping that he'll get something on it.
Yeah, you can just like again. I think he's brilliant. Rodon. I think he epitomises everything you want in a defender. He puts his body on the line, and to be honest, I didn't think he had that pace in him for the last bit. I thought I don't know where that came from, but it just shows that he's, he just didn't give anything. He didn't have anything left after that, did he? And then he blocked another. I think someone else was there, and then he got up again and tackled, and then he went on the floor.
Tackle again. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what he won, isn't it? It's
the Welsh warrior.
Welsh warrior. Hey, I'm loving that, Dill, to be honest. I'm loving it. But you just got to, like, that's again one thing I want to highlight is just this team's desire to just want to stay in the game, and it wasn't as lack of trying that we didn't want to try and get forward and thing. We win at the back, we win around the back, messing it around. You know what we like to do sometimes.
Slow build up. We
actually look to get forward. It's overall just very frustrating game. Again, we'll bounce back. I'm sure of it. It's hard to try and word what I want to say really, because it's just like a bit of a sort of brain fuddle, and I'm trying to just stay positive with it. But
we have Richard Hogan here says, to be honest, I'm a bit worried about March. We will get on to that as well. We have plenty of tricky games in the next couple of weeks. Not too concerned with Sheffield United today, but hopefully Cardiff can take a point off Burnley on Tuesday. Let's touch on March a little bit, lads. Obviously, March was last season was when Leeds United, the catastrophe, we kind of fell apart after the international break as well. At the minute, we do have a bit of an injury woe, a centre half. Are you worried, Jam, at the minute? Because obviously, look, if Rodon and Shrike get injured, we know Shrike is always kind of susceptible to that kind of injury, to kind of put him out for a couple of weeks. They've obviously gone the conservative route with Ampadu as well. We'll obviously see how that goes. It's 50-50 whether he's going to be back for the season, which is what Fark says. We've left ourselves a little bit light there. International duty coming up as well. Do we have to be worried about March?
The only concern is Rodon. To be honest, if Rodon even for Rodon or Pask, if they get injured, then I don't really know what we do, to be honest. One thing I will say about the international break, which I think is different this year to what it was last year, was Wales had playoff games there, so they were massive, massive games, and I think that really did deflate them, because Dan James actually missed the penalty in the playoff, and that really sort of hindered him. So what I will say is they're still qualifying games, but I don't think they're near the magnitude of what they were last year. So that's one thing I'm trying to mentally wise for Dan James. I'm thinking, is he gonna be affected by that? But last year he was, but this year I think that's where it differs for me. But yeah, you're bang on. I think the only thing that does concern me a little bit is just Ampadu's injured, and if Rodon or Pass get injured, then we're probably going to see Gilavogi or something. I mean, at the back, and I'm not convinced by him, to be honest. Listen, he's a lovely guy, but he couldn't trap a bag of sand, could he?
Yeah, well, that's what we've seen him as centre half then, and we can only go off by what we've seen, isn't it, Jam? Isn't it? And that was not a very, very good centre half performance against Harrogate. Do you know what I mean? So we should have been a bit better in that game. He wasn't. Then we obviously seen him at Millwall in the Cup as well, and he wasn't too convincing in the centre of the park as well. So yeah, I agree with where you're coming from there. Dylan, same question to you. Obviously, March, it's a big one. Even fixture-wise, we'll touch on the fixtures that we do have coming up as well, but just the international break in mind as well. Should Leeds be worried about it?
I think I'll just go back to last season. I keep saying this. We solely relied on 3 individuals last season, and very light on the bench. I think this season, I know others agree with what Jam was saying there. It's kind of hard to kind of put something into perspective when it comes to the Ampadu situation, being injured, and Gilavogi, I wouldn't like him back there either. But collectively, looking for the wings and the middle of the park, we're more or less okay, and I think we can all agree we're not relying on everyone. Obviously now Solomon today and James. I think they could have been not so much James, more Solomon whipped off a little bit earlier. But no, I'm not worried about going into it. I was just you could say smarty injuries.
Yeah, it's
whoever
the
does
English
go away
way,
on
isn't it?
duties.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be alright. Like I think we'll be fine. It just seems a bit more. How would you say rounded? I think we'll be okay.
Bit more relevant. Pascal has a mistake in him and makes too many for me to be good enough for the Premier League. When Strike and Meslier played, then the goalkeeper was a howler. But some of these come from Strike errors. Yeah, I'll give that one to you, Jam. With Strike, like I think he's like at times at this season, I call kind of start probably was our best defender there, solid. Yeah, we've seen a few kind of hiccups there and then, and look, he obviously comes on against Sunderland. He does what he does, but I thought he was good against Sunderland anyway when he came on, even apart from the 2 goals. So I do think he's probably one of them that we need in there. And that partnership with Rodon, 9 times out of 10, it's solid, isn't it?
Yeah, I do get where Rich is coming from there with that comment. I completely get it, but I mean, Pascal, I love Pascal personally, so I'm probably maybe the wrong person to ask. But I just think he's such a technically good player as well as a defender. He does read the game really well. You can see that Armstrong a few times today was trying to spin him behind, and I thought Pascal was really good at reading the situation. For me, though, lads, I think Rich is bang on with the Meslier thing. If we do get promoted, which I think we will, he can't be number one for us next season. Meslier, sorry, I don't care how he plays now for the rest of the game. So I'm not going to harass him or anything. But I just think we need a bit of a leader in there, to be honest. Like I touched on Michael Cooper last week for Sheffield United. I thought he's the type of keeper, someone who just vocal and someone a bit of a presence in the goal. But yeah,
It's what commands your box, though, isn't it, Jam?
Yes, exactly.
You know, someone that show that sort of character. Going back, I know I sound like Roy Keane, but just commanding your box, and just sometimes. For me, Meslier doesn't do that, and sorry for cutting you off. It's just it's something that I've noticed throughout the whole season with Meslier, lads. Is that he just, and I'm not blaming him solely on that goal. So
no.
People putting comments in, I'm not blaming him on that altogether. His positioning could have been better, yeah, but it's just that kind of vocalist, and I know what you're saying there. It makes sense for someone to command the box and just be a goalkeeper and do the right things. And I think maybe at times he thinks about it too much. And puts too much pressure on himself, because you can see at times even through that game today with Rodon and Meslier at the back, like communication, it's non-existent. And I don't think it's coming on Rodon's part. I think it's coming on Meslier's.
There's a couple of few kind of not hairy moments, but there was a few kind of hesitance in the boat. I remember there was one that was running through to Meslier and Rodon was running to get it. Meslier stopped, then he came again, and I was like, it's them little kind of 1% Jam, isn't it? That we've seen it cost, you know, at times. So it's them that you kind of just need to constantly keep getting right, you know, the talking side of the game, keeper's ball, my ball, whatever it may be, just like talking to each other. And I think it is probably that kind of more side of the game, and we seen last week at Sheffield United as well. And I don't want to be hammering Meslier because I don't think it's his fault today that we didn't get all 3 points. I thought the outfield players were well below par today. At the end of the day, Meslier is the one up there, you know, scoring goals. I thought we were poor going forward today. I think Easy mentioned it as well. The front four today, Pirro as well, was just not in the game at all today. So you can't blame Meslier solely, but I understand where he's coming from. Defensively wise, with Meslier, you could see he kind of unsettled the back line last week at Sheffield United, didn't he? A couple of flaps and a couple of drops, and that can kind of unsettle your back line, can't it? And yeah, look, it's one of them, lads, but I don't want to kind of rest on Meslier a little bit too much because I don't think we can be blaming him solely for today. The Ampadu decision might be a way of getting him off international duty. Rodon needs to stay fit. Boyram is the CN. The Boyram is my centre back cover as well. And yeah, look, we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Hopefully, we do get Ampadu back and all goes well. Not the end of the world, says John. No matter how many Hail Marys, I'd say we weren't going to win down today. And John, that's exactly what you said. It didn't feel like it which were against Sunderland and Sheffield United. It always kind of felt like there was that chance today. It just felt like our luck maybe just ran out today. That there was no way 3 games in a row we were going to do it again.
That's the thing. It's like you think of it. I'm just thinking of a positive of it. That's 7 points out of 9 games. We played Sheffield United, Sunderland, and West Brom. Then all top 6 teams. So I mean, listen, it is disappointing because I think we know what we're capable of as a team. But it's bang on the comment there. It's just literally it was never going to happen for us today, for lads. I think just everything the way the game went, just these little silly fouls that went against us and all their little things as well. But yeah, like Easy says, they're still fighting for the top 6 as well. So they're going to take the foot off the gas, and they need to come to. That'll give them loads of confidence as well. And I thought, to be fair, you could see they're playing for their manager, Mowbray as well. You can see that
Yeah.
they're really putting their bodies on the line, and that's probably it's encouraging for them as well, West Brom fans. But yeah, listen, we can be disappointed. Again, I am disappointed, but I'm just trying to put perspective on things and try not to get my emotions get the better of me. And I'm just thinking, let's just all just relax and see how today goes. If it doesn't go our way, then our goal difference.
A bit of good
boys,
news
is the next
anyway.
point yourself.
QPR and Sheffield United are still 0-0 anyway, so a little bit of a positive there for them. Still 0-0. Sure. West Brom are fighting for the top 6. I'm not disappointed with the result, but I'm disappointed with Fark for not rotating, and we have kind of touched on that as well. As it felt like today, and I suppose with Fark, and we're kind of used to seeing it with him easy, haven't we, over the last while, and since he's been at Leeds, is that he doesn't really rotate a winning team, doesn't he? Not Dillo and Jam, is that he usually likes to kind of stick with that team until basically it does, until we do obviously lose a game or suspensions or injuries or something like that do kind of change it up a little bit today. But it just felt like with Solomon at Sheffield United, it just wasn't 100% on it, which we probably knew because of the injury. But it felt like again today that there was times you could see the glimpses a little bit more, but wasn't 100% himself. The Nanto one or even the Ramazani one, because we'll touch on Ramazani as well, should have probably been made a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I just think even the Joseph one, maybe that could have been a little bit earlier, just because I did like when Peru dropped into the number 10 and then it allowed Joseph to go into the 9. But I suppose we can all say, oh, it could have been, it could have come on earlier. Hindsight after the game, perhaps. But yeah, I think for me, lads, we just looked a bit, considering I bang on about how good the fitness is of the squad, I think we just looked leggy today, a few of them did. Especially attacking players. Aronson, again, I don't know what he was doing, but Dan James, again, he was the only one really that looked lively and going forward. And Solomon, I think they just they try and double up on him now, don't they? They know he's a danger man.
Yeah.
Surprised that Ramazani didn't get on though, lads. Are you?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah.
I really am.
That's what I was just going to touch on here, Dylan. Ken, we did meet Ken at the Q&A with Ian Hart. Really, really nice lad. So thanks for popping in, Ken. Hi lads, what a frustrating game that was. Poor goal we conceded. DF was clueless all game. Brendan totally out of sorts while Ramazani has gone AWOL. When we need him to replace a jaded Ramazani. And that's it, lads. Like, we obviously know the quality that Ramazani has, but we've kind of seen this spouts through the season, haven't we? Where obviously before he gets his injury, he's brilliant. Sheffield United are just 1-0 up. Yeah, we've seen him obviously before the Cardiff game where he gets injured. Before he gets injured, he was brilliant. And it's kind of been that phases, hasn't it, through the season where he's kind of been in, he's looked decent, then he's kind of fallen out of the team again. But we know there's a player in there, lads, because we've seen it against Sheffield Wednesday, the brilliant goal into the bottom corner. What do you think is it, Jan, with Ramazani, that he can't fully force his way into the team, or even like that you're chasing the game today to get on for 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, it must be the things he's not doing in training. Perhaps it's just other players are just performing, taking Farker's line more than others in training. But that's the only thing I can read because, quality-wise, he's just as good as any of them, I think, personally. His ceilings, he's got a really high ceiling. So, not sure. It must be that perhaps he's not putting in as much in training. It's an attitude thing as well, maybe. But I don't know. It's strange. I think he's probably Farker. We've touched on it loads of times. Farker does like to keep a winning mentality, winning side, doesn't he? So perhaps he's just a bit hesitant in changing things. But I mean, that's one positive I'll take from it, boys. Is if we are tiring, we have got options, and we, if like the international break, if worse does come to worse, and perhaps Dan James may have a niggle, then you can bring in Nanto or Ramazani. So that's what the difference is with this year to last year, I think, as well. But completely gone off the question you said, Daz, but just
I love the way
I always do it. I always go off. My mind just goes away with me, but I just think. It's
speaking the truth, John. Speaking the truth.
Yes, yeah. Love it. John Redmond says we lacked a bit of spark today, and that's it, lads. Look, I don't think it's the be on and all. Even look at, he says here, Sheffield United winning 1-0. Look, it's not the be on and end all, lads. Look, it wasn't a loss today. Do you know what I mean? At least we haven't slipped up at home. We haven't lost again, so it's not a bad one for me. When Rodon slipped and fell on the ball late on. The Wigan game a few years ago flashed up in my mind. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, just felt like we were going to lose the game, but we did. In the next three games over the next 6 days are huge. Let's touch on them, lads. Obviously, we've obviously spoke about March about being really, really big for Leeds United. It starts obviously next Sunday down at Fratton Park against Portsmouth. Again, another early kick-off. Dylan, your favourite one's the one that you don't like. Millwall at home then midweek on the Wednesday, and then we've got that dreaded game back down in London, QPR. after that as well. The next three lads, on paper, you look at them say, yeah, Leeds should be winning. But we know notoriously being Leeds fans, they're potential banana skins, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think QBR is definitely one. For me, that's singling out, and I don't know why. The hairs stand up on the back of my neck. Whatever hair that I have left on the back of my neck gives me that kind of heebie-jeebies, as you would say. Portsmouth, you'd like to think we would, but you could potentially a banana skin. Then Millwall, so we owe them. We owe a win, but it's easier said than done. And this late into the season, when considering last season's errors, we just don't want to repeat them. And the boys need to be completely at it. And look, I'm going to keep saying it because I'm a firm believer of it. This is what I was saying about Sunderland and Sheffield United. This is why we needed to win. And thank God we did. But we need to continue and keep putting points on the board. So, a few draws here or there. Yeah, we're going to slip up. We're definitely and not definitely, but I think it's obvious we probably will lose another game. But how we lose it and who we lose it is the issue.
Yeah, like when's that going to come about? Pirro was all right, few nice touches, but nosed up his finishing. Today we had one where he was offside, shouldn't have been, and was poor finishing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was. He didn't fully get a hold of that one, and later on, then he played him in, and then he doesn't bring it under control as well. I remember that one as well. It was very, very unlucky with that one. Jam, we'll touch on Pirro then just before we wrap it up. Then after that, was it just one of them where he just didn't get the service today that he needed?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more of a collective thing as well. I just think, it's hard for a player to get into a game when the other players are not really performing to their standards. I will again give him some leeway because he's come up with some vital goals for us over the last few weeks. But again, he is like this Pirro. He does have his moments where he does go a bit missing. But again, I'm not going to really call him out individually. I just think as a team, collectively, I think we should have been doing more to try and provide him a bit more service. So yeah, I mean, he's had better games, but they all have, haven't they?
Yeah, 100%. Dale, about you, your man Pirro today, looked out. I thought he was decent enough. I think I mentioned it during our watch along as well, that he had a few nice touches on the ball, but didn't really have any chances. That one that he played through where he was offside, didn't really catch it clean. And the one from Nanto, I don't think it was so much Pirro not being able to take it under control. I actually probably thought the ball from Nanto was a little bit kind of fierce at him, very, very hard. If he's taking that under control and scoring from there, lads, like, wow, unbelievable. But I thought the ball was fizzed at him a little bit too much, so can't be too harsh on him today. But we just didn't create enough for Joe Pirro today, did we, to kind of get on the end of it?
I think in the middle of the park, what Matt Leeds said, sorry, I touched the stutters there again, that in the middle of the park, I just thought Tanaka and Rotwell, to a certain degree, weren't, you could say, creating a whole lot, or, they were losing the ball off. The ball was just sloppy in the middle of the park, whether West Brom were winning the ball or we were giving it away. But they gave it away an awful lot. But when it was hitting the wings, to be fair, Darren, Pirro was in the box, ready to go. So it's just the service wasn't there. Anytime that he got the ball, he was somewhat holding up the play and moving or breaking forward. With his tricks or flicks or whatever he was doing. But the service just wasn't simply there today. Anytime that Solomon or James were trying to put it across or whip it in, it was all their defenders were back, and I think we were lucky to get the goal that we did early in the game. And more that I think about, maybe that was the plan that Fark went with, because West Brom can defend very well. I know Burnley can, but so can West Brom. They give you that kind of comfort, that kind of way. Well, for their fans, like, but yeah, just in general, I just think Pirro, I think it'd be a bit harsh to kind of single him out and say, because he didn't score, because it wasn't that case at all. If anything, he was definitely one of the best out of the half good bunch that we had today, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be singling him out, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Pirro fan.
Love it. Ken says here, what about the incident after half time? I thought it was a reckless tackle on Solomon as he shoots. Do you think it should have been a penalty? Do you know, Ken, I actually thought it was a good tackle. I don't know about you lads, I thought it was a brilliant last ditch tackle from Price. I know what you're saying, he kind of comes in a bit heavy on Solomon, but for me, he definitely gets the ball, and probably if he doesn't get the ball, he probably cleans Solomon out, and it probably is, a really reckless tackle then after that. But what's your boys' thoughts on it? Again, I probably have to see it back, but the first time we've seen it in real time, and then again the replays on Sky, to me it looks like he gets the ball. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, he gets the ball. I think he does show a bit of more excessive force, as you want to say. But I mean, he does.
Great way of putting it. I love that.
He doesn't. Yeah, I like that. I impressed myself.
That was nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That was good.
But,
sorry.
That was pretty much it from me. I think it was just because he literally did just enough, and he went out for a corner. Then I think because the ball ricocheted, then didn't it? But I get where he's coming from with it, Ken. Yeah, that was my thoughts on it. Bit overpacked, a bit excessive. I'll use the word again.
Love it.
But yeah. For me, it would have been. I would have been fuming if I was given against.
If
Leeds.
that was the other way, yeah. Agree with you. Yeah.
I think initially when I seen it, I was a bit, "What are you doing, ref?" But it looked like at the start. Don't get me wrong, but I think I did watch the replay back, and my mind was must have just let it go because I wouldn't, me there, and I hold on to things like that. That'd be the first thing I'd be giving out about. So I clearly, in my head, must have thought it was alright. I think it was like a deflection kind of thing, wasn't it?
He kind of came in just as Solomon was about to strike the ball. He kind of came in, the ball kind of just ricocheted and over the bar. Then,
yeah. So look, I genuinely think it comes down to in this type of scenario. One, we played against a good team today that defended well and went with a game plan and frustrated us to a certain degree. Their passing was sloppy and we just didn't simply take our chances. Yeah, there's a lot of players in that squad that's tired, and that's more or less it. You can't really be harsh. Any individual marks. You could say could have made the subs a little bit earlier, but at the end of the day, lads, that's the team that we're winning with. So clearly he's going to keep it. So
yeah, true. Richard says here, I would like to think that we can get 7 points from the next 3 games. That would keep us in the driving seat. Agree with Dillo that QPR is a potential banana skin.
Someone agrees with me.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Dillo is a legend.
No praise like self-praise, huh? Richard Hogan says, I can remember Bamford missing a penalty down there in Bielsa's first season. I remember that as well. Well, I remember all the penalties that Bamford missed. You can remember the whole lot of them. Scooby says, great tackle. Yeah, I thought it was a good tackle as well. Jam says, excessive force, but definitely gets the ball. Probably the best referee at Elm Road this season. Yeah, I actually didn't think he was too bad. There was times where he was giving them soft ones and then not really giving them to us, John. But yeah, nothing bad. I thought he actually let the game go. So
he was alright.
Dylan doesn't like referees whatsoever.
He was. It'll be interesting to play ratings. What I'll give him. I'll go back and watch it and I'll see what I'm going to rate. But I think it will be definitely above a 3 this time, maybe a 4.
Good result, higher performance, but easy. Yeah, and probably a culmination of the last 2 games, lads, isn't it? The how much effort the players put into the last 2 games as well, so probably is just a tight performance. If that's rode on against England, is a superb or excessive force? What would you think, Jam?
Well, superb obviously, isn't it? If it's against England.
Absolutely love it. Jamie says here, looked like they were playing in glue. Awful passing. Yeah, it was. Some of the passing, we haven't even touched on the passing. Lost the ball too often. Crap subs again from Fark. Far too late as usual. Not a good performance. Yeah, not the best performance, I have to agree with you, Jamie, but one thing I do definitely agree with you there is I thought subs from Fark was a little bit too late again. It's hard to kind of criticise at this stage with Daniel Farke's subs, lads, because 9 times out of 10 they have seemed to work in our favour this season, the 70-minute substitutions from Fark, and it's obviously when it doesn't work, that's when we obviously kind of criticise him. But if you look over, the course of the whole season, I think we've 20 goals or something from substitutions coming off the bench. The only team ahead of, I think, the team was Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday. So not too bad. So generally his subs do work, but I do agree with Jamie. They probably need to be a little bit earlier, lads, don't they? Especially when you feel like that the game's just not quite going our way.
Yeah, you just need that swing. You need a spark, don't you? So you look at your bench like Ramazani and Nomto and Joseph. I know they come on eventually, but you're just looking for that little bit. I think the only thing Ramazani could have come on, I think, earlier. Well, he should have come on personally altogether. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know when, but I think he would have brought a little bit of something different as well. But
yeah, 100% agree with that. Ken says here, also Fair Joseph picked up a bad ankle injury from that offside cross. Yeah, he got a bit of a smack, but he looked like he was okay right at the very end of it.
Pressing is good, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really good. good news, Bogle didn't get booked exactly. Yeah, I think he needs to survive one more game to avoid a 2-game ban. Am I right in saying that? Firpo got lucky and tugging the shorts late on. I actually think it's 2 games, Ken. So I think he has to get through Portsmouth and Millwall, and then I think it's 2 more games, lads, isn't it? I'm nearly sure I read 3 games, so it might be, and he was not for certain. I think it's the next
I'm
2
not
games.
sure
That
now,
he
to be honest.
needs to get through. It is a 2-game ban. Look, and I think it's probably going to be hard for someone like Bogle because the way he plays the game, isn't it? It's very much kind of on the front foot. He does nip in to get tackles, and at times he can. But we've seen it all through the season where I don't think it's kind of cynical like the way Firpo is today. What Ken touched on there, pulling the shorts. I think Bogle, 9 times out of 10, it is for tackles that he kind of picks up his yellows for. Where Firpo can be cynical, where someone goes past him, he'll pull them down. Where we don't really see that from Bogle. It's more so, he likes to nip in and try and win the ball. So hopefully, he would be a massive miss, lads, wouldn't he? Look, we do have Sam Boyram there, cover if needs be, but yeah, I think Bogle would be a big miss if we do have him out for suspension. All Firpo wanting to swap shorts before the end of the game. He's always deeply suspect that way, 100%. Let's touch on Firpo, lads. Look, I probably think it's going to sound a little bit harsh here, but probably think he's been a little bit kind of quiet in the last couple of games, but there's a bit mad saying it because obviously he scored 2 goals, 2 headers. Jam, what have you made of him? Because obviously he was out there for a little bit, a lot of cover there from Boyram over the last couple of weeks. He's been good since he's came back in, hasn't he? And 2 goals to his name. Not bad for a left full, well, so-called left full.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't, again, that side of it, you can't fault him. He's got 2 goals in 2 games, and I've always sort of praised him moving forward and going overlapping the wing, but I'll be honest, lad, I thought he did get caught out a few times today. I thought they looked to switch the ball, and I think their winger, I'm not sure if it was Price or...
It was Price was on him.
Yeah, Price was on that side today, wasn't he? And I thought maybe that was... But again, perhaps I'm being overly critical. He was caught out of position once or twice, but I think that was a bit of a tactic from them, was to switch the ball quick from the left to the right, maybe, and see if they had any joy. But again, look, I think the commentators touched on it. Him and Bogle bring us so much going forward. There's just another outlet for us. If Solomon isn't quite doing it, then he knows he's got Firpo going, and Dan James, he knows he's got Bogle overlapping him. So, yeah.
It's Millwall, yeah. I thought it was 2.
Yeah, today you've got a goal, and I'm buzzing for him. I do like Junior, but defensively sometimes he's a little bit suspect for me. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Dillo, what about you? Firpo's performance, obviously, again, look at 2 goals in 2 games. We can't take that away from him. But yeah, I'm probably more on the line as what Jam is thinking as well. Just times is defended a little bit suspect, and he gets caught and obviously pulls down the shorts and picks up a yellow as well.
I think it's always going to be like that, though, lads, with Firpo. The only reason why I'm saying that is because he kind of does give you that. He's like 8 assists and 3 goals or something.
Yeah.
This season.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So not being smart, like that's what the man does. But covering wise, when it comes to his defending, can be a bit silly. Gives away cheap free kicks, then gets caught out. Like at one stage, he was playing as a left winger, saying, "What is this man doing?" He was like right up, like he was playing as a 9 or a 10. But look, he's the one that got us the goal today, lads. Apart from that, but it's thanks, Ken. That's my bet gone out the window. Anyway, no, I just think Firpo's. Yeah, look, he's gonna do this, lads. I think I know where he's coming from, saying, solely is defending. He is a left back, should be defending. But at the end of the day, if he's solely concentrating on defending, then maybe he won't be getting assists or goals the way that he did today. So, but
yeah, true. He sacrifices that side of the game, doesn't he, Dillo? So to go forward.
To a certain degree, like it's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Yeah, like I would be saying that, but yeah, like to a certain degree, he should be kind of. You could say a bit more cop on and kind of watch the defending. Definitely the free kicks. That's one thing that does my head in. Does my head in, and like obviously Stroke done it today. Like don't get me wrong, I'm the first person to take the red if it needs be. When I played football, take it clean over it. Doesn't bother me. Like, do you know what I mean? In the sense of if it means you're through on goal, but just cynical fouls like that cost us them to get the goal. He's done it a few times this season. And they're Stroke today, but yeah, I thought he was alright, lads. To be honest with you, I didn't think he was as bad as well.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was bad. I just think his defending at times. But look, we can't be critical because he obviously gets the goal.
And what a goal it was!
lads, Burnley's run in is very, very tough. Actually, I must have a look at it now that it's starting to get down to crunch. So I must start having a look at the other teams running. I've solely just been concentrating on Leeds. If we're hypercritical, I put it down to the dead ball coach. Rotwell's put in some brilliant balls today, gotten out. That's it, lads. And look what Scooby says there. Like, some of the balls into the box, and we did say it as well on the watch along as well. Some of the balls into the box today were brilliant, weren't they, from Joe Rotwell? Just couldn't get on the end of them, can we? Exactly like what Scooby says.
There's one specifically, I think, in the second half was it Dan James, wasn't it? And he put it over the bar. That was right.
The header
on
over the bar. Yeah.
But
I wonder what I could get for Fairbairn and James to score a header. To bowl like two small men left back at the winger, especially Dan James to score a header as well would have been a bit mad. Lads, anything else to add before we wrap it up there?
We're going up. Do.
Love it, Dylan. You're finishing on a positive now. We're starting to get you right.
Oh no, Ken's out to depressing me now, man. Leon, I win a 1-0. That's me gone.
There's still a long way. Still a long way to go. So only 28 minutes gone on that game.
Yeah. You can show now 70 cents if you want. Like.
Yeah. Has to be done. Jam, we'll come to you. Any final words before we wrap it up, buddy?
No, just a pleasure as always speaking to two boys, and let's just stay positive of it. Again, today wasn't our day, but we move, as the youngsters say these days.
Yeah. We made the youngsters. You're still a young lad yourself.
Free, mate.
You're still young. Yeah, look, lads, that's it from Only Leeds Bros. That's it from the match reaction. All square at Ellen Road. Leeds United pick up a point. Sheffield United are winning 1-0. So let's hope by the end of today that we're all smiling. QPR can somehow grab something out of that game. Before you leave, lads, don't forget to slap a like on the video. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And we will be back during the week as well for our player ratings and probably doing another OLB reacts because it is a long way now till Sunday. So we'll be doing bits and bobs on Only Leeds Bros through the week. Again, Jam, thanks very much for giving up your time and popping in, mate. Really, really appreciate it. Dillo, I'll chat to you in about 5 minutes when you want to go on your proper rant after that game. Wind yourselves and wind each other. Good luck.